So, what do you think constitutes the perfect Christmas? We've been hearing carols now for a long time, and some of the ones that I've been hearing over and over are Have Yourself a Very Merry Christmas. There's ones like Have a Holly Jolly Christmas. People are just kind of stressing out over what's the perfect Christmas. I've been hearing conversation, I'm not ready yet. Oh, I got to get my act together, I got to get ready. What constitutes the perfect Christmas? Is it loved ones gathered at your house? Is it that perfect snowfall where the roads aren't icy, but everything looks all cozy, blanketed in that nice white, snowy stuff? It's kind of crazy, the views that we have of what Christmas should be like. When I think about some of the things that are going on in my life or have happened in the past, it's like, it can be kind of depressing because you're trying to think what the perfect Christmas should be. Who should be gathered at the home? Is it the gifts? Is it the church service? Is it the relatives all getting along? What is it that makes Christmas perfect? Relationships, health? What? There's so many things going on in our lives. If we based it on that, we would say, technically, there would never be a perfect Christmas. I'll never forget when I was in church one time in a town called Paulina, Iowa. We were there visiting my mother-in-law, and I went to church, and I heard a pastor there talk about there's only one Christmas that had to be perfect, and it was the first one. It was the one where the little baby Jesus was born, when God stepped into the world of our pain and our hurt and our sorrows. And he said, you know what? I'm the one who made you. I love you with an everlasting love. I've come to make everything new. I've come to help you get through this. That's the only Christmas that had to be perfect. That meant so much to me, especially like in my life too. In recent, the last year I dealt with the whole prostate cancer thing, and that was pretty devastating. Over the last 15 years, I've been waiting for my kids to come back into my life. Just kind of wondering, is this the Christmas where I'll be hearing from them? Now, I'm kind of sharing with you from a really hurtful place in my heart. Because if Christmas was based on whether or not they were coming back into my life, then I could easily say that Christmas has been bah humbug the last 15 years. But actually, Christmas has been great the last 15 years only because of this. The baby Jesus was born to be the Savior of the world, who loves us, who had a plan to save us from all of our pain and sorrow, to make a way for us to come back to God and to have eternal life. The first Christmas is the only one that had to be perfect because it was the one that Jesus was born and came into the world. It says in the book of Galatians, when the fullness of time had come, God sent his son, born of a woman, born under the law, to redeem those who are under the law. God chose the right time to have the baby Jesus born. Sometimes I think, wouldn't it be great if he would have been born now in this day and age? We could all be texting, hey, Jesus was born, did you hear the good news? But God didn't think that was the right time. He thought it was the right time some 2,000 years ago. When the right time had come, God sent his son. And when you really think about it, things weren't perfect back then either. Think about it. Joseph taking his pregnant wife, and there was no room in the inn. The streets are all crowded. They had to go and give birth to a baby in the stable. Man, oh man. And then after his birth, a king wants to kill him. That doesn't sound like a Hallmark Christmas to me. It doesn't sound like white picket fences and just the perfect snowfall. We live in an imperfect world, but we have a perfect God. And because of that, when I get down thinking about how I wish Christmas could be, I think about how Christmas really was and is today. God made flesh, dwelling among his people that he loves and is bringing back to himself. This is Pastor John. As you count down the days to Christmas, amongst all the preparations. It's okay to prepare. It's okay to want things to be a certain way. But just remember, it doesn't have to be perfect, because the perfect Christmas already happened when God sent Jesus to be the Savior of the world. Merry Christmas. This is Pastor John from The Branch.